All right. I think it's time for us to get into the Big East Conference. Let's reset it here. Coming into the season, Fanta, you're the Big East guy. Coming into the season, everyone thought it was Villanova and Villanova and Villanova, and then everyone thought it was Creighton and Creighton and Creighton. And now it looks like it's UConn, then UConn, then UConn. Where do you stand on the Big East Conference right now?
Well, the league did not get off to as good of a start as it did last year and as good of a start as expected. I think we thought that this league could get 6 or 7 teams to the NCAA tournament. That being said, the Big East was 4th in KenPom last year. The Big East is 4th in KenPom this year. The same amount of Big East teams that were in the net top 100 last year are still there. The fact is this, the bottom is really bad. DePaul and Georgetown have been horrendous. But I would say this, UConn, for how great they've been, has saved the league. Because when you have a seat at the big boy table, meaning top 5 table, you've got relevance. You really do. Marquette has been huge for this league. Marquette was picked to finish 9th in the Big East, and they're currently 24th in the country. Shaka Smart is actually a sleeper Coach of the Year candidate. I mean, he really is. For me, guys, I still think there's a pathway to 5 NCAA tournament bids, if not 6. And here's why. Okay. The Pac-12 doesn't have a ton of depth. The Atlantic 10, which has stolen bids from a conference like the Big East, isn't going to do that this year. The Atlantic 10 hasn't lived up to the hype. Yep. It just hasn't. The ACC, Terrence, if it was 3 years ago, I'm telling you right now, I'd be sitting here saying the Big East is in danger of having only 3 bids or 4 bids. Mm-hmm. The ACC taking steps back has actually been the biggest help to the Big East. Yeah. Because the Big East middle versus the ACC middle, it used to not be a competition at all. At all. So for me, guys, UConn's a tournament team. Creighton needs to figure it out. I don't know what's going on there. They're the big question mark. Villanova is starting to come on. So Villanova and Creighton are my 2 variables. Marquette's a tournament team. Xavier's a tournament team. And St. John's is the other variable. St. John's is 11-1. What are they going to end up being? Will they be legit in conference play? If that team goes 12-8 in the Big East, though, and they're sitting at 23 wins, they're going to make the NCAA tournament. So because the programs that we thought would be at the top are actually not, I'm still not out of belief that Creighton could hear their name on Selection Sunday. I think all 3 of us would agree. If you had to bet Creighton will hear it versus they won't, I think Creighton will make it. To me, they still have the win over Arkansas. They still have the win over Texas Tech. None of their bad wins have been any worse than a quad 2 loss, or another bad loss has been worse than a quad 2 loss. And Villanova, all their struggles, T.O., they haven't had Cam Whitmore. They haven't had Justin Moore. If Justin Moore comes back, that's something that's going to be taken into account. Fair or not, that's going to be something that is considered. So just in time for UConn
Goodman,
talk.
Goodman,
come on. Like my Cleveland Indians sweatshirt?
Kick him out. Hey, we got to go. Out.
No.
I got invited. It was a majority decision. I got invited by 2 people.
Yeah. We invited him because Rob Dahlster, he needed to be present for the State of the Connecticut Huskies message. So you tell us what the state in the UConn Huskies is.
They're the best team in college basketball. We don't need. What do we have to say about it? That is the least interesting thing to talk about.
Arguably,
it's not. There's no argument about it. Like all the metrics have them number 1. They're the best.
Honestly,
they've covered every game they've played.
Sonogo might not score on Zach Edey. Sonogo might go scoreless, and Klingon might go back to the bench crying.
Okay.
Okay, this is wild. I disagree wholeheartedly.
If you want to hit your wagon to Purdue, Goodman, you can do that, and we can talk in a month. Go ahead, do it.
All I'm saying is like those big guys will be neutralized. They will be neutralized.
I don't know. Sonogo's been hitting shots.
I'm not worried. Like you think I'm worried about? No, come on. No. It's all right.
Well, wait a minute.
I don't need to say anything because I'm going to be proven right. So.
This is the comparable to how.
What's the wager? Wait. What is the wager, Robert? That UConn? I'll even give you an easy one. I'll give you an easy one here. UConn wins the big least. Okay, UConn wins the big least. I'm going to give you UConn. I'm going to take the field. What is the wager?
Whatever you want it to be.
What is
We're taking the field.
Whatever you want it to. I mean, they're going to win. They're
they should win it easy. I mean, it should be going away. UConn is like the greatest team since Florida repeated in 06, 07. So they should win this thing by like 4 or 5 games, right?
Are you trying to goad me?
He's doing a
no,
first take.
No, I'm saying like this UConn team with Adama Sanogo, who I still think my argument is, and I know like this isn't like I'm turning back the clock, but Sanogo or Josh Boone? In
terms of what?
Like all I'm saying is like it's not like Adama Sanogo here is like the greatest player ever. We're turning him into like this elite level player while Zach Edey is out here eating children for lunch.
Can we vote him now?
like it's like Zach Edey and Sanogo, and like Klingon could be really good. I actually really
you're trying you're trying to do something right now. I'm not exactly. I don't know what are you trying to do? Like just tell me what the end game is for you jumping on this so we can get it moving.
I'm giving you UConn. I'm giving you an easy wager. This should be like this is like taking candy from a baby, Bobby.
Do it, Rob.
I'm giving you UConn. I'm taking the field in the Big East.
Villanova. I already said if that. Then what do you want to bet?
You name it.
I got it.
How about I'll bet you this: if UConn wins the Big East, you get off the podcast so that we can finish recording and T.O. doesn't murder.
I was invited on. by 2 other people here. This is not you. Don't run this podcast. This is a 3-man pod, and you got outvoted.
No, Jeff, you got invited to the podcast before shit hit the fan. The cap flew off his head about 25 minutes ago. His laptop is currently fried.
Oh no.
Do you think
Rob,
we
got him at a bad time right now?
Not a good time.
I told him to buy a new laptop 3 weeks ago.
If only you would have listened to Goodman.
I mean, come on. Use the credit card and buy a new laptop today. That's my Christmas present to you, Bobby.
Yeah. How about this? How about you make your Christmas present be you get off the Zoom?
Listen, until the 2 other people who have voices, who have votes in the DTF pod also boot me, I'm going to stick around a little bit longer.
Jeff,
I enjoy their company. We had fun earlier. We're going to have fun later. So,
are you joining us later?
Are you joining us on After Dark?
Maybe. I might, just to annoy Bobby. I might.
We have shit to do. Like, boot him, Fanta, get him out of here.
All right, Jeff.
We've already been on here for an hour.
Maybe
Boot
we'll
him.
see you tonight.
See you, boys.
And on After Dark, but it's time for you to go.
All right.
It's kind of like at the Christmas gathering.
Get that wager, Fanta. Fanta, figure out what the wager is.
I think a night out in Houston, like the loser's got to pay for the other's drinks the entire night.
The loser might have to go round and round again, like Doster did. We won't go specifics, but round and round.
Oh my God!
You might have to do that again.
Get out. Go. I think he's gonna kill somebody right now. Go.
Doster's.
Go. That was like Cousin Eddie in National Lampoon.
That's exactly what that was. That's such a good comparison.
We are so sorry.
Right.
He was invited to the party before everything went wrong. So let's get back to the Big East.
The Big East.
Well, Rob, I do want to know from you, how many teams is the Big East going to get into the NCAA tournament?
So I think 6 is the number that I think is like what's possible, right? I don't know if they're going to get it. I would say it most likely is 5, but UConn's in the dance. I think Marquette's going to get in the dance. I think Xavier's going to get in the dance. I think Providence and St. John's both have a shot, and I think that Villanova and Creighton are both good enough to figure things out and get there.
Wow, CTO doesn't think that.
Yeah, so
I think there's a legitimate shot for 5. I think just because there's some Seton Hall, I don't think is there. Butler, I don't think is there. Villanova 6-5. We'll see how that kind of turns out. I think there's one kind of laying in the weeds, guys, and I hate to even jump on this one, but like Providence has got pieces, and if there's one guy that can put those pieces together, it's Ed Cooley, and he proved it all last year. And the pieces, in theory, those pieces fit. Now they're non-conference. It was what it was. It wasn't great. Now, all of that being said, they have won 4 in a row. They're heading into conference play. It could be a team that by time all is said and done, go 12-8, 13-7 in the league, just because of how you keep them close at the end of the game, especially home games. Like, it could be a team to be reckoned with. That's a tough out for anybody. So I think 5 is more reasonable for the Big East, just because in the non-conference it didn't do as well as it typically has in the past or last season. But I think 5 would be reasonable.
I'm sorry to butt in here, but
no,
I'm just going to be brief. Like, I know that the league didn't get off to as good of a start by any means, and the non-conference performance is not up to par. Having said this, the fact, like, the Big East doesn't have 14, 15, 16 teams. They don't have that many teams. Now, no conference is the Big 12, which only has 10 right now and still gets like 7 or 8. But like in an 11-team league that includes Georgetown and DePaul, if you get 5 in, that's not a bad year.
That's a good year. I think last year was an incredible year.
But I'm just saying it for how crappy some of the talk is, that Big Least. I think it's only that because
that's such a funny name. I don't know why I thought that was so funny.
That's just.
But you can't do the same. We can't make this argument, Fanta. We can't make this argument. And then the ACC, you turn around and be like, look how bad it is because Louisville and Florida State and all that stuff. Can't make that same argument.
The ACC has more teams.
That's true. But if you do it per, however many, was it 5 out of 11? What would that be? Slightly less than 50%. So 7 out of 15 would be fine in the ACC for you? Because it's kind of the same theory.
I haven't ripped apart the ACC.
No, you haven't. But I'm speaking in generalities here. Like, I feel like it still catches a lot of.
What I would say is that there's more bad teams at the bottom of the Big East than there are at the bottom of the ACC than there are at the bottom of the Big East. Specifically, Louisville and Florida State, who you normally expect to be good, are now like worse than the teams you would normally expect to be really bad.
Hold on, but at the same time, everybody knew Louisville was going to suck. It just mattered their degree of suck.
Yeah, but while all that's happening, North Carolina, the preseason number 1, also isn't living up to expectations. I don't think they're like we're arguing
8-4 and they're going to figure it out. Are we going to go ahead and slide to the ACC right now?
No, yeah, but hold on. So we're arguing about whether or not, like, who is less impressive, the Big East or the ACC. Like, they're both going to be fine at the end of the day. The ACC is going to get 5 teams in. The Big East is going to get 5 teams in. It's probably better to get 5 in an 11-team league than it is to get 5 in a 15-team league. But at the end of the day, like, they're both fine. There's the difference between the top and the bottom of the ACC, I think, is bigger just because there's more nothing at the bottom of the ACC this year than there is the Big East. Real quick. Coach of the year in the Big East before we move? Got to be Hurley?
Yeah, not even a question. It's not even a question, Dan Hurley.
All right, and then who's your player of the year in the Big East right now? This one's kind of tough.
Go ahead, Fanta.
It's a no-go? I think it might be a no-go.
I'm Mr. Contrarian, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's not a player. Like, I don't think he'll win player of the year. I want to be very clear. I don't think he'll win Big East player of the year. But if I was starting a team and I could pick one Big East player, I'm picking Andre Jackson. And you can have everybody else.
He could be the best glue guy in the country.
Well, he's more than that.
No, he absolutely is. But I mean,
his explosiveness combined with leadership is something that you do not make. There's a lot of spark guys on a team. They add a spark. They make this play that makes you say, wow. They normally aren't the leader of the team at the same time. And they might add a glimpse. They don't defend for 40 minutes. They don't rebound for 40 minutes. They don't make plays. They don't get to the hardwood. The only thing holding Connecticut back would be injuries. That's literally the only thing.
But the thing they also have the depth to withstand it. Like, Samson Johnson hasn't played all year. He started the first game of the season.
I agree, but Jackson is indispensable. They can ill afford to lose him. He does everything for that team.
Yeah, he's the best defender in college basketball. One thing I will say is this.
Spot, Souley Boom has been awesome.
Yeah.
He hasn't been kind of good. He has been awesome. Right at 18 a game, 4-4. Like that is good. The UTEP transfer,
if he stays around next year, Bryce Hopkins.
Yeah, but why
would he leave?
Adama Sanogo is going to win it. He's the leading rebounder and the leading scorer on the team that's going to run away and win he's going to win it. Whether or not we think he's the best player in the league is a different conversation. Sanogo is going to win it unless things change. One real quick note: after Georgetown on Tuesday, UConn has Villanova at home, Xavier away, Providence away, Creighton at home, Marquette away. If they get through that run undefeated, we're looking at, they might end up in mid-February without a blemish on their resume.
Then why didn't you just take that Goodman bet 5 minutes ago?
I don't know.
I should have taken that bet.
Very easily could have taken that bet, and it just I'm not in the mood for a lot of.
He's down right now.
I'm not.
They're not going to get through that unbeaten. They're going to lose a game.
Yeah, I think they're. I would not be.
And that's good. And it's good to lose a game, guys.
Yep, you want to lose one there. Want to lose one there.